always exciting to me when I get to bring in my first batch of roses from our backyard, have them sitting back there. They are my favorite. We have a couple different varieties, but they're my favorite. Welcome to today's video. The only thing on my face right now is some eyeshadow primer. This is the NARS Smudge Proof Eye Base because I did purchase several skincare items during the Sephora sale, so I want to show those and talk to you about those. I also have a huge bag of goodies that we're gonna go through, talk through. I also have a few items like the new Ravi Beauty eyebrow pencils and a couple other PR items, not too many, and then a couple of new drugstore things. So we've got a hodgepodge of new things. I'm so excited to be sitting down here with you. Let's jump in right now, get something on the skin. So I'm starting off with the Fenty Skin Fat Water. No, I've not already used this much. I had a damaged, defective little kind of top on here. It's not working properly, so I finally got frustrated and I happened to have an empty kind of squirt bottle. So I put it in there and honestly, I wish it had a pump or a sprayer. I'm using, well, three pumps, which is a couple of large drops. I don't know how else to say how much I'm measuring it. I've been using this for a week. Oh, I love how it smells, but it is fragranced. So that is something to note. I want to show you kind of what it does. You saw that my skin was pretty dry and thirsty, even though I'm not a dry skin girl. This is the more hydrating of the two that she has. And I do really love how this feels on the skin. I feel like it sinks right in. As far as long-term benefits, all that, you know, it's going to take a while with skincare. But do you see that nice glow? And I do feel like it kind of plumps the skin just a little bit. I still go in with a little moisturizer and sunscreen. My moisturizer, again, something else I transferred into a more user-friendly container. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Water Cream. This isn't new. I've been using this for, well, maybe about 2 months. And I do love this. It is so nice and lightweight, super expensive though. So I transferred it into this airless pump and I love it much more because I feel like I'm able to control exactly how much I'm using, which is important with something so expensive. So I have both of those kind of blended in and I'm gonna let those sit for a second. Let's go to the next product I purchased, which is the Tatcha Eye Brightening Cream. This is a brand new product for them and brand new to me. So I do love it. It has this little scooper on top. However, I'm going to be honest, I'm just lazy and I don't want to slide that out every time I want to use eye cream. So I've just been going in with a relatively clean finger and I do like this. Again, it's going to take some time to see if this really is doing much. It does have vitamin C and obviously hydrating ingredients. I've been kind of switching off trying this in the morning or at night, but you can hear Gracie. Oh, she's having fun with the box. I did bring reinforcements. Gracie, what do we have here? What is that? Why don't you go play with that? I figured this trick out. I found a treat that fits inside her Kong that takes her a long time to get out. So we'll hope that keeps her occupied. She's kind of going through a terrible 2 stage, although she's not quite 2. All right, back to the face. So you can see the moisturizer and the fat water and that magic water cream. They do sink in, but leave the skin looking hydrated. My skin just feels so much better. All right, the next product that I did purchase. Okay, now I'm going to have to actually go to my bag. And I'll cut this out if it gets too loud, or I'll at least mute it for you. But the next product I did pick up was the Supergoop Mineral Glow Screen. This is SPF 40. It is a mineral sunscreen. And in my shopping excursion, scouting excursion at Kohl's, I was telling you, I was excited that they came out with a mineral version of this. Now this is quite glowy and it doesn't look like it would pack much of a punch, but it's quite glowy. I'm going to use part of this and then I'm going to mix in just a little bit of the matte screen. This white packaging, it kind of can get washed out in the lights. So this one I've had and used, and this is, I think, my second tube of it. I put it away during the winter because I feel like I need it less in the winter time, that matte kind of version. But I'm gonna mix just a little because I don't want my skin too glowy. And that Super Goop, the glow screen, I mean, you'll see, I still have quite a lot of glow. But we're gonna get this worked in. I think that is going to be a great addition to my sunscreen lineup as I go into the summer and I have more sunless tan when I am going out to walk my dog and I just pop on a little bit of sunscreen. I want just a little color to my face. If I don't have sunless tanner on my face, that's a great way to add a little color and glow. But you can see, I mean, that it's pretty glowy. So for my oily skin, I think I'm gonna have to mix it with a little bit of that matte screen just to kind of tone down that glow a little bit. But so far, so good. We'll see what happens. Okay. Gracie's right at my feet trying to figure out how to get the rest of that treat out. All right, now we're gonna go back to the eyes. I only purchased one eyeshadow palette. Actually, I used points, but I got it at Ulta. So it was sold out. This color combo was sold out at Sephora, but Ulta was doing that 20% off as well. It was a one-time use. And I thought, you know what? I've got points at Ulta. I don't need another eyeshadow palette, but I really wanted to try this one. So I picked up this one. This is the Beautifying Eye Trends in Pink Love. And of all of the color combinations, I did finally see them in stores, swatched them. I just, you know me, I love my pinks. I just do. So I thought I want to try this. And Nikki LaRose had said that the formulation of these shimmers was quite different. So I really wanted to try it for myself. I do have some thoughts. The only other eye product I think that I purchased was this new Too Faced. It's a Quickie Queen. And oh, I think the color is, what is it? Fairy Dust. So I will incorporate this in, have some thoughts on that as well. But let's rewind. I need something on my lips. I asked in a post today, I had gotten some products from Merit about a little over a month ago, and I'd been loving the lip liner, their new lip liner, which I was going to pick up a new shade in this during the sale, but it was sold out. And so I had been sent this as well. This is one of their Shade Slicks lip oils. And so I haven't really given it too much kind of review. You know, I haven't really tried it too much, but this is one of their newer shades. It's called Pointel, and it's a cool baby pink. So I thought, you know, since I'm going with pink eyeshadow, let's just kind of get inspired. So it does have a little bit of color. This is more, not quite as slippery as some of the lip oils, but it's also not tacky. It has like a balmy oil feel on the lips. So let's see how that does as we get ready. Okay, back to eyeshadow. Of course, this does have a light shimmery color, but nothing for the brow bone. So you probably can guess what I'm going to pull out here. And I thought I had already, oh, I did. I did pull it out. I just covered it up. I'm going to pull out my True Beauty palette and use this matte cream shade on the Sigma E50. So I did take a week off of filming. It wasn't planned, but after coming off of being sick, I was just really kind of struggling, and I was still struggling with my sinuses and allergies. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Then my dear friend Erin came to town last weekend, a week ago. And so, of course, we were out shopping and doing fun things. And then she left, and it's like, okay, we got to get the house cleaned up. And then we had Easter weekend. And as many of you know, my husband's a pastor. And so that always means an extra service because we do a Good Friday service as well. So by the time I reached Thursday, I was like, this is not going to happen. I am not going to get anything done this week, extra filming. Let's just take the week off and rejuvenate and prepare for this week. So I feel rejuvenated. I've got several videos coming. I'm preparing to film actually today. So stay tuned, more to come. All right, we're gonna go in and I'm gonna mix a combination of these two shades. I am still using and loving my Buzzy Beauty brushes. This is the 911. I just washed some brushes yesterday to get ready, and all my eye brushes are dry, but some of my face brushes are not quite dry, so that's okay. But I really do love how this brush just blends shadows. And I have to say, I have been using almost everything here in my Sephora order, so I can kind of give you little mini reviews as we go. And this eyeshadow palette from Charlotte Tilbury, these mattes are extra creamy. They're not dusty, and the shimmers are unique. Each one of them has kind of a slightly different texture. There are one or two that are more toppers, but I have just really enjoyed this palette. It's what I used yesterday for Easter Sunday, but I did, of course, incorporate one or two shadows from my True Beauty palette as well, because as you can see, there's I mean, it's pretty much pinks and then kind of, well, almost pinky burgundies. So that's as dark as you're gonna go. So this is more, if you love pink, I think you'll really enjoy this palette. But again, you might wanna wait for a sale. I think if I have a discount code directly with Charlotte Tilbury, I'll link it down below. But it is definitely one I would put on your list. I know it's gotten a little flack, or a lot of flack, from the clear plastic packaging, but I don't mind it because I love seeing the colors, and it's not a cheap clear plastic. I have a couple things from the drugstore that I got that you can tell there is cheapness. So that's my 2 cents worth there. All right, let's go in with another. This is the 912 brush from Buzzy Beauty. And I'm gonna use just a combination. Let's see, let's do this middle. Let's just go here. I won't go, well, at least at this point, we won't go too bright. Obviously, we're not gonna go too dark. So I actually have nowhere to go today, except I have videos to film. So I don't wanna do anything too crazy, but we are playing and having fun with makeup. So I was telling you, my best friend Erin, that most of you have met here before, being here, we did do a lot of shopping. It was fun to actually go in store and be able to pick up a few things, but most of this Sephora haul I did purchase online. So I've been waiting for those things to come in, and finally they came in. And actually the Ravi Beauty brow pencils I'm going to show you today, I placed an order for one of them right away, and then they so kindly reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try the whole line, and I'm like, yes, please. So I'll swatch all those, but those just came today. So all good timing. Do you see how, I mean, I love tonal eyeshadow palettes like this. If you struggle kind of trying to figure out what colors to put with what, these are a great option, because pretty much everything goes with everything, and they blend just so well into each other. I do have some fallout here we'll clean up because I got a little carried away. All right, we're gonna go to the lid, and I first want to use this Fairy Dust eyeshadow crayon from Too Faced. Now I had seen, I think it was Jen Phillips had tried this out, and she felt like she got some drop down or fall down of the glitter throughout the day. I have not experienced that, but I use an eyeshadow primer. I always do. So that is just a heads up. As long as you use an eyeshadow primer, I feel like this works really well. Now this is like shimmer, 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 glitter. It's so pretty. But if you are not into shimmer, or you only like just a slight sheen, this will be too much for you. So just saying. They do have, I think, goodness, I think Ulta has the better selection with 6 or 8 colors. And this was just the one that I knew I would get a lot of use out of if I enjoyed it, and I do. Now let's go back to the palette though, and I'm gonna just kind of marry those outer corner shades with that inner corner. And I think, let's see, is it this one or this one? Yeah, they're both kind of, okay, let's go with this one, which is right here. This is a smoother shimmer. And so I'm just going to kind of place that right over the top. just to create a little more of a gradation. And then I am gonna go on the inner part with this bright shade. We'll go back and touch it up later for the inner corner, but I just kind of want to show you a little bit of that. So we are covering up a lot of that Too Faced shadow stick, but I feel like those shimmery shadow sticks like that do sometimes better if you have just a little something layered on top. And then, you know, why not? Because we're just layering, we're just having fun. Let's go in. Okay, this one has a little duochrome, a little, look at that. This is definitely a little more of like a topper type shade. So let's just top that. Oh, it's just so pretty. And I know some of you are like, oh, it's so complicated. It's not. Just slap them on, blend them together, you're good to go. All right, I do not actually have a new eyeliner. So let's go in. Ooh, what color eyeliner? Think fast, Sharalee. Let's go in with a dark brown eyeliner here, I think. Let's do that so it's not too harsh. I've done a lot of purple with pink. Let's just go in, we'll keep it neutral, but not too dark. This is the Dalton, this is the cocoa shade, and I forget what this one's called. Infinite Eyes Line and Smudge. This is just a really nice, soft pencil. You do have to sharpen it, but I don't mind that. Sometimes I feel like the ones that you have to sharpen just in general, I feel like they don't dry out as quickly in your collection. So it's this is just a really beautiful formula, and it does set and stay, but you've got a little tiny little bit of playtime. I'm gonna just really work this right into the roots of the lashes. I have a new mascara I've been trying from the drugstore, but I'm kind of been feeling like I'm not getting that depth of the lash line that I want. So we'll try and help it out with some liner here. And I don't know that I want to wing it out or anything. So we're just gonna just do that. We'll keep it a little more daytime, nothing crazy. You're like, Sharalee, we are wearing pink eyeshadow. That's a little crazy. But this is the secret. If you feel like your eyes look sick or tired with pink eyeshadow, first thing you're going to want to do is you don't want to bring a bright pink shade all the way to your lash line or in your inner corner. And then secondly, you do want to make sure that you have a good barrier with liner and mascara between kind of your lid and your eyes. So I feel like this is one way to really kind of make you look a little bit less sick and more awake, kind of refreshed, a refreshed pink instead of tired pink, you know? And let's see, let's work this into the lashes here as well. You know, I don't do tight lining, still trying to stay true to that. But let's just work a little bit. I'm just going to do a tiny little bit. I don't want this to be too dark down here, but we'll give ourselves something to blend into. And we'll add a little bit of shadow down here. Okay, so let's use, let's see here. Let's just use this E15 from Sigma and a little bit of, let's do this, and then we'll go in with a little bit of that. So first, the lighter shade, let's just use this, right? Kind of from the edge of that liner forward. And again, this pink has a little bit of some brown in it. So I feel like it's okay up against the lash line, if I could talk. And then let's do this. Speaking of talking, hopefully you are hearing that my sinuses are much better. I am still really battling allergies. So I'm taking some Claritin, that has been helping. I usually just am able to use a natural supplement for allergies, but this year, wow, it has done a number on me. Okay, we need to clean up. This is very important with pink eyeshadow. Uh-oh, dropped a Q-tip, and my dog was right there ready to help pick it up. Okay, I'm going to use some almond oil to clean up under the eyes, and then we will get started with foundation and concealer. And this is really important for, well, any even blue or purple eyeshadow looks, but also with pink. You want to make sure you clean up. And this is why I like to sometimes do my eyes first, because see, there's pink shadow, and if you just slap on concealer over the pink shadow, it's gonna, I think, come through your concealer and or your foundation. So I always think it's best to really make sure you clean up. Now, I've had questions, doesn't the almond oil break down your concealer? No, it doesn't. You do want to make sure you don't over apply, obviously, or leave too much. You know, you don't want a pool of oil under there, but it adds a really nice little bit of hydration. And I know we just applied our eye cream, but a lot of that has been soaked in. Now I am noticing up close, I do have a little glitter fall out right here. And let's see, the benefit of being in my craft room, I do still have a couple of drawers that have craft items in there. I've got some washi tape. You can use Scotch tape also, but I'm just gonna take off some of that glitter. So this really helps, especially if you have a couple of like large chunks of glitter that you can't get off. Use a little Scotch tape. Okay, that's much better. Because again, sometimes you can blend away and wipe away, and that glitter just goes further into the skin, and that's not a good thing. All right, now I do have glitter all over my fingers. We'll see if we can just keep going. Okay, let's go to foundation next. And I did purchase, well, I purchased one, and then I had to go back and get a different shade. So this is the Lawless Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Foundation. And I had heard some amazing things, and 5, I mean, this is a shade range that's very dark. So 5 was way too dark, even for my sunless tan. It doesn't look that dark in here, but I'll show you. So I went back and got 3F. The F stands for fair. I'm not fair, but apparently I am in this foundation line. So I'm gonna do a little bit of 3 or a little bit of 5L with mostly 3F. I have some fresh sunless tanner on right now. It's a new one that I'm trying. So I'm not quite sure. I haven't done a foundation match yet. So you can see that's 3F. And I do feel like it darkens a little bit on the skin. Let's just blend it in. Now, really good point here when you're trying a new foundation, make sure you don't just leave a glob there. You really do need to share it out, blend it in, and see how it looks. So blend it in, you can still see it's slightly lighter than what I need to be. So my thought with this foundation, if I end up loving the formulation, then I'll probably keep both shades, because as I do sunless tanning, my face tone changes all throughout the week, really, literally, you know, from freshly applied to later on, because I really only like to apply sunless tanner once a week, honestly. All right, where is my brush? I did pull out a clean, oh, it's right in front of me. This is the BK Beauty 101 travel brush. I cleaned all my other ones, and so I have to go back to this one. My other ones are still drying, but let's just try this foundation with that sunscreen. Now, I feel like as I've tried this a few times before, I'm struggling just to get a good read on whether it really is filling in the lines and the pores or what's happening. So without any primer, or, you know, we'll see how it looks before we powder, but with that glowier base underneath, right now, I'm not loving how it's looking, but we will see what happens. And it's a little light compared to my bronzed skin, so sometimes that plays into it as well. So let's just press this in, and we'll go to some other products, and then we'll come back and we'll assess what we think. So I feel like, let's see, what is this supposed to say? It says 100% showed increased skin hydration after 8 weeks of use. 96% said it provided the perfect amount of coverage. 90% said skin looks immediately smoother. I'm not going to be in that 90%, but we'll see what we think. And of course, you know, increased hydration, not necessarily something I'm looking for. But if you're a drier skin person, I can understand you might be. So I know it's a little lighter than my neck right now, but I'm going to leave it and let's just let it sit. I feel like the coverage is a good medium because I can still see a little faint bit of my dark spot, which actually is not too dark. So I'm covered, but it's not, you know, full coverage by any means. And right here is where I have a lot of texture and more pores and things. So that's kind of the area that I would really like to see some perfection. I might go back with just a little bit of the 5L. And let's just dot on a little bit here. Let's just compare what happens. Kind of use it like I would, you know, if I were bronzing up the skin. And let's just see if that little extra bit helps make it look a little smoother. Using a new foundation is always a challenge, and because, you know, reviewing makeup is part of my job, I take it seriously. And just because something might not like work immediately with just like I apply my other foundations, I have found that there are certain ones that once I figure out what it is they're meant to work with, or the right product combo, or how, like what brush to apply it with or whatever, many times I end up just loving it. But sometimes those first couple trials are a little challenging. Okay, it's definitely drying down and getting a little more matte. Let's leave it alone for now, and we'll just come back and reassess before we apply our powder. Okay, the next product, I got to clear off a little area here because my dog is laying down sleeping, so don't want to disturb her. All right, I already have a couple of go backs. The KVD concealer. This was something that was raved about by a makeup artist. Lightweight, full coverage concealer, supposed to be crease free, all that stuff. Oh my goodness. I tried this several times. It was creased before I was even done with the rest of my makeup. Whether I had set it or not, it was dry. It was not a winner for me. And then I purchased the Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer, and this shade is just way too dark. This is the shade 13. So I went back and purchased the shade 9. So I think 13 is going back, and we're gonna see if 9 works. And if 9 doesn't work, that will be going back. Now this is the Magic Touch concealer. You get a ton of product, 0.4 fluid ounces. It's a medium to full coverage blurring concealer that blends smoothly without creasing. I tell ya, apparently talking is a challenge today. All right, oh, and see, I was gonna show you this new method of applying concealer I've been testing out. Not sure, so it's where you actually don't apply it in your darkest area. You kind of like push it towards there, but I don't know. All these makeup artist tips that I try out, and you know, I will share them with you if they end up being winners, but I'm testing this one out. So this of course now looks a little light, but 13 was so dark I probably could use a combination of the two. But again, unless I am really thrilled with the performance of the concealer, it's not something I want to own in 2 colors. Now this, it does have a really good coverage. So even though this is a little lighter than I would like, we're just going to go with it for now. It is a thicker consistency. And like I said, I'm still just testing this out. I think this is only the second time I've used this lighter shade. Obviously, we are just a little too late. So let's take our foundation brush, and on camera, it's looking pretty good. Up close, not too bad. I'm showing, or I'm seeing a little bit of some of the texture and lines underneath, but the darkness, oh my goodness, that was the other thing that thankfully over the last couple of days, little extra sleep and feeling better, my under eye darkness finally let up. It was bad. I mean, really bad. So that was another reason where I'm like, you know, I don't need to be on camera with these really dark circles. Okay, let's leave that. Let's just see what happens. And let's go to a few more face products. All right, a couple of bronzers. Oh goodness, I got a couple of powder bronzers, and I did get 2 bronzing, like liquid bronzing products. This is the Westman Atelier Matte Bronzing Drops. I have to say, I'm enjoying this. I use this with more of a matte sunscreen before I, apply makeup. I've not been using this with my makeup. I'm still going to test this out more, but I feel like this is unique because there's no shimmer. All of the other liquid bronzing drop products that I own all have a little bit of glow or shimmer. So I'm still trying that one out, but today I want to use the Rare Beauty. This is her liquid contour in the shade Solace. So we're going to use this for contour. I'm really enjoying this. It has a very big doe foot applicator. And at first when I applied this, I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be like her blushes that are really hard to blend out if you don't move fast. But I found this product actually to be quite easy to blend out, and you do want to be careful you don't get too much product. I say as I'm swiping this all over, but I wiped off the doe foot applicator and then I didn't go back in for more product, and that should be almost enough, I think, for my whole face. So you can see, like at first I thought, oh no, this is not going to blend, and then all of a sudden it's blended. So it's I have really been impressed and pleased with this product. I did purchase a contouring shade, and it is meant to be a contour. So it is a cooler tone. It is not a bronzer for me personally. I think 1 or 2 of the shades you might be able to use as a bronzer, but it is meant to be a contouring product. So just FYI. Contour, if you apply a contour on the tops of your cheeks and kind of like a bronzer would be, like the sun's hitting you, you're gonna probably not look, things are gonna look a little questionable. You might be wondering why you look kind of ill. So, I mean, do you see how easy that was? I have just been really pleased with how simple this is to blend in. It doesn't disturb the makeup underneath. And now let's blend in the nose contour. By the way, that was the 107 from BK Beauty. And now this is the Nikki La Rose N16 from BK Beauty also. And this has really become my go-to brush. I honestly don't use many of the other brushes in her set on a regular basis. They're fine, but this is the one I reach for almost every day for nose contour. And you can use it for other things, but I have really come to appreciate the shape and size of this brush. So, all right, that is blended out, and don't worry, things will get a little bit more muted down once we powder and everything. I'm gonna just touch up the center of the nose. Okay, so we've got our contour on, and now I did go a little crazy with cheek products. And if you saw my scouting mission, you will have seen so many cheek products that were on my list. And oh my goodness, I mean, bronzers and blushes and more blushes and one more blush. Let's see. Oh no, 2 more, because one just came yesterday, or not, oh no, Saturday. Okay, so I have lots of cheek products. We're not going to use them all, but I will kind of talk you through. Let's see, is there anything else in here? Let's see. Oh, there's one more skincare product I'll show you at the end. But all right, and then, oh yeah, this bronzer. Okay, So let me just quickly, let's decide. I think I am not doing a cream blush, so I'm going to powder, but let me show you this one. This is brand new from the Sephora collection, and it just came in at the tail end of the sale. So I picked up, oh, what was the color? See the label, oh, Candy Lover. This is the pink one, and there are several products like this, a couple of the drugstore. Stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing about those soon. But this has a cream here and then 2 powders. I love that it includes the cover. I used this yesterday. It was nice. It's not overly pigmented, but I felt like it was really easy to use, and I thought it lasted fine throughout the day. More test. All right, the other cream product I use, which is so not going to go with our eye color today, but it is one of the new Soft Pinch blushes, matte blushes from Rare Beauty. I picked up the shade Alive because I wanted something more in this tone. This looks scary, but swatched and especially on tanned skin, look how pretty that is. Oh, so I am excited to try this, but we're not going to use this today. I think that is going to be a winner. So the other blushes are powder, and I have 2 from Tower 28. I did buy the Rosy Hue from YSL, and I'm telling you, I love this. This is probably my favorite new blush that I purchased. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and powder, and then we can choose one of those blushes. So for powder, I have a couple from the drugstore we're going to try out because I didn't buy any new ones at Sephora. Let's start with under eyes. This new one from Catrice. It's the Under Eye Brightener Setting Powder. This also comes in a pink shade. So I don't use the pink a whole lot normally, but I wanted to purchase that just to see how it compares to other things. Today though, let's try this one, which I'm not sure what is the color. Uh-oh, I took the label off, and what is it? Warm Nude. I had to return it and get a new one off Amazon because the original one was open. Isn't that fun? All right, so let's look at, I do have some creasing, but that's all right. Let's just blend it out with a clean brush here. And then we will try this setting powder and see what happens. Now, I don't really like to bake per se, so let's do a kind of fluffy brush first. This is the Buzzy Beauty, what is this? The 906. And let's just add a little bit with the brush first. And I'm actually gonna press it in. Let's tap it on. And then we will go over the top of it with a powder sponge here in just a minute. But I think that's what the right color I needed because I didn't want any more brightness under there. And that's actually looking nice so far. And now I just want to take a clean sponge like this, and let's just press it in. So that way we're not getting too much product, but we are making sure the powder is pressed in nicely. Okay, let's just keep an eye on that, see how that does. All right, the other powder, and boy, this better really perform great. This is from L'Oreal, Infallible Blurfection, and you have to be careful when you're buying from the drugstore because we get excited. It's drugstore, it should be cheap. And I think this was around $13 maybe at Target. But wow, is this a tiny bit, 0.2 ounces. So just because it's at the drugstore and it seems like it's a good price, look at how much product is actually in there. So I tried this once and not with this foundation. So let's just give it a shot here. It did come in a couple of different colors. And what did I get? Did I get translucent? I can't remember. It doesn't say. It is talc-free powder. So apparently talc is being taken out of everything. So we will be seeing lots of talc-free products. But that does change how powders perform. So let's just pack this in I think I tried this first under the eyes and I didn't like it there, but well, let's just see how this does on the face. I'm liking it so far. And before I powder the forehead where I do have lines, the foundation's not like sinking too much into it. I wouldn't necessarily say my lines are blurred, but you know, we'll see how this all comes together and then we'll make an assessment. For me, I don't expect miracles. I don't expect wrinkles and lines and pores to disappear with a foundation, but I certainly don't want the foundation to accentuate them, and I really want the foundation to last all day. So we will see. I do have a new setting spray we're going to try also. We'll just see how that works, but that powder does look a little dry, but we will just take a look. What does it say? It says it blurs imperfections, extends makeup wear, controls shine, under eye looks instantly brighter after use. Oh, we did not use that under the eye, so we're going to leave that. Okay, let's go to some of these other cheek products. Let's start with bronzer because I have an abundance of bronzers. First off, I did purchase the Guerlain Terracotta Light, and what does it say? This is the shade Light 02. And what I was most intrigued about with this is I was looking for something. There was a product from Too Faced several years ago that I loved that was a blush bronzer in one and blush bronzer highlighter in one. And I was really hopeful that this would be as well. It is really pretty, but I don't know, like with my tan skin, if this is really going to show up enough. It's the nice thing is it is not powdery, but it is not very much product. The Gucci bronzer actually gives you quite a bit more product than you're getting in the Guerlain. It does have a fragrance. I don't love the fragrance of this, but I am definitely going to continue using that a few more times before I decide. But I wasn't blown away by how it looked the couple times I've used it. The Dior bronzer, however, I do want to try this again today. And I've actually really enjoyed this. Where did my brush go? I'm looking, I look confused and all over the place. It's because I'm looking for my brush. Let's use the Buzzy Beauty 903. Now, what's interesting about this, not only is it matte, it has a little sheen, but there's no shimmer. It's not powdery. So much like the Gucci bronzer, you're not losing any product, and it's very smoothing. The ingredients, it's loaded with lots of dimethicone type ingredients. So that is something that is going to make the skin look blurred and kind of more perfected, if you will. So I feel like this is a great bronzer if you want like something very buildable. And what shade did I get? I got 20 medium matte, and I think this might have been the second shade. Maybe there were two under this, but definitely goes quite a bit deeper. So we're just going to use that. And you can see, I mean, it just has some perfecting qualities. I really like that. Let's bring a little further in and we'll see. All right. So liking this a lot. I think this is a keeper, but a little more testing to do. I did also pick up, I picked up one shade first of the Laura Mercier bronzer duo. This is brand new. And I picked up the 30 Cans, C-A-N-N-E-S. Some of you can tell me how to pronounce that. And I really like this. This is beautiful. I was able to use this as more of a powder contour. In fact, we'll just dab on a little bit so you can see this. And then swirled together, they really create a beautiful kind of glow on the cheeks. So you can see, I mean, that added some quick color. So I think this is a really great product. And then when Erin was here, she decided to pick up the deep shade, which is 50 St. Martin. And she used this as her blush, and it was so pretty. And I thought, oh, I think that might be something that I would like. So it's too dark for me to use as just a bronzer or contour, but blended together, I mean, it's just this beautiful color on the cheeks. I'm not going to use that today. She also had recommended this Dior blush in bronze, what is it? Bronzed Glow. And I love this. This is that perfect kind of sun-kissed cheek look. So I think all of those are going to be staying. But the blushes that I've really been enjoying, like just true blushes, as I said, the YSL Rosy Glow. You know what? Let's use this today because I want to see how much punch we can get. Do you see how late that is? But look at how much color we're able to get. I think these blushes are so pretty. So I think this was the only other color. There was a number 44, I think, was sold out, but that's one maybe I'll pick up later at another point. But it's just a beautiful formula. Love that. And then I did pick up one color, this initial color of the Tower 28 Get Set Blur Set Matte Powder Blush. Do you see a theme here? I'm kind of into that matte look. I like to add a little glow here and there, but I just find matte formulas, especially going into the summer, work so well on my skin. And this was one also, it looked like it was gonna make my cheeks look dead, and it actually brought quite a lot of color. The formula is very smooth. So while we were in store, I swatched Samo Spritzer, which is a beautiful kind of, boy, it's a cooler tone kind of mauve color, but this is beautiful as well. So those I am really loving. I would recommend, but if you want one cheek splurge, I don't think you would be disappointed with these blushes. There's just something special. All right, I did not pick up a highlighter. So let's just pull in. This was one I did show in that video. I passed right by it. It's still one of my favorites. This is the Sephora collection. What's it called? Luminizer in Sparkling Honey. And I've been loving the Buzzy Beauty brush in 904 for this. And let's just put on a little of the tops of the cheeks here. And now let's go back to the inner corner highlight. Going to use the shade from the Charlotte Tilbury palette. And then we will move on to brows. So as I'm looking even up close at my skin, you know, a couple of minutes ago, I was saying my skin looked pretty dry and powdery. It does not look dry and powdery already. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. All right, before we do brows though, let's do a little setting powder or setting spray. Something that, again, I don't use very often, but I was super interested in this new Easy Bake setting spray from Huda Beauty. I got the mini, and it is made with rice starch, niacinamide, hyaluronic acids. It's alcohol and fragrance free. So that's something that's really unique to setting sprays. And I've seen people use this, and I think even on the box, doesn't it say the more you spray, the more blurred you get or something like that? So yeah, it says blurs or spray generously for buildable blur. The more you use, the more you blur. So let's just see. I'm going to try to do it on just half of my face. Oh, okay. The sprayer is not super fine, but let's just see. Okay, I do have a little droplet right there. Where's my, here. Now, some of you may have noticed, as this is drying, a little story, you may have noticed that I am reading boxes without my readers, and I'm able to see, for the most part, like the color of lipsticks. I mean, it might take me a second, but much improved. I finally made it to the eye doctor, and what he determined was that my distance vision had improved so much that my old contacts were overcorrecting my vision. So that was why everything kind of at a distance was looking hazy and blurry, and also why my up close vision was so bad. So he corrected that, and then he did this without letting me know at first until I tried on the contacts. he gave me slightly monovision in one eye, which means that he even lessened the correction in this eye so that I can see up close better with this eye. And he said it would take me maybe a couple of weeks to kind of fully adjust, but I actually, now I don't have to wear my glasses to play the piano. And for the most part, when I have my contacts in, I can read, I mean, with maybe a second, or two, I can read small print again. It's miraculous. Okay, let's take a look. And I actually do feel like this part looks a little more blurred than this part. I think it's just slightly more matte, but it's not flat matte. So I actually feel like that did help. So let's go ahead, let's do the other side of the face now. And then we're gonna do brows and mascara and lips. Oh my goodness, the time is just ticking by. But I feel like there's just a lot to cover in this video since I've been gone and I've just missed filming and there's so many new products. All right, so Revie Beauty. These new eyebrow pencils are fantastic. As I said, I ordered on the day that they released, I ordered one shade, which was taupe. Where is it? I've been using this one for several days now and loving it. But I wasn't really sure that was my right shade. So when they reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to try all of the colors from our new release? I said, yes, please. And Revie Beauty is the brand that was started by Ali Glines. And I just think that I appreciate she's just releasing one new product at a time, but she really thinks through the process. She goes to the labs. And what I love, not only do I just love the packaging, so she's got a different color cap on the pencil portion, which is nice because you're not going, oh wait, no, that's the spoolie. But she does have a spoolie. It's a twist up, but her main thing with this is she said she wanted a pencil that was not too thick and not too thin. So this point is 1.2 millimeters. The CoverGirl one that I love is a 1 millimeter. So it's just slightly thicker, but therefore it does make the fill-in so much quicker. So this is the taupe shade, and online, I thought it looked kind of warm, so I was a little concerned. Okay, now let's see, where is the color? Oh, there's the color. Okay, so this is, oh, let me see here. I'm just gonna try and swatch these in color order for you. And what is this one? Oh, I was telling you how great my eyes are, right? But it's gold, gold writing. Okay, this is light brown. So let's just swatch this one and see. And you want to make sure you don't twist it up too far. But this is just a really nice formulation. Okay, so I feel like that I could probably get away with my current hair color. And then we have, I know she's got ebony and, oh, this is ebony. And then what's the one in between? I think it's dark brown is the other one. So she's got 4 shades. Yes, this is dark brown. Okay, let's do dark brown. I'll swatch this and ebony. And I feel like depending on how much pressure you apply changes, the depth of color as well. So I almost feel like I could get away with almost all of these. Even that dark ebony just swatched lightly is not like super scary. So those are the 4 shades, and taupe is the one I've been using. So I'm going to use that for you today since I still got quite a lot of blonde in my hair right now, which I'll be talking more about that in the upcoming hair tutorial. So stay tuned for that. But it's so nice to be able to do my brows without having to pull in a magnifying mirror. I came home from the eye doctor and I was like, I can see. It's a miracle. And it is. If any of you struggle with vision, and I know age is just, that's what has really been, once I turned, I think I was about 42 or so when I started struggling a little bit with up close vision with my contacts in. I still see up close well without contacts, but yeah, that's not helpful if I'm trying to get ready for the day. So I just, man, when you can't see, It's frustrating. So I have full sympathy for those of you who can't see up close very well. It's hard to enjoy the makeup process when you can't see what you're doing. So my advice, definitely invest in a good magnifying mirror, because that's what I was using and that was helping for sure for my personal makeup. It was still a little challenging when I was filming because I'd have to pull over a handheld magnifying mirror, but yeah, do you see it? Like it just really glides on. And now you can do like individual eyebrow hair strokes with this as well, but I just kind of, just throwing it on quickly. And most of you know, doing my brows, it's not my favorite thing, but it's a necessary part, and wow, it really makes a difference. So if we can find a product like this that makes the process just easier, I mean, wow. So I have really been impressed with this, and I love Alec Lines as a person, as a creator, and I always love supporting other creators and their new business ventures. That's the reason also why I've been really loving the Buzzy Beauty brushes. And to be clear, I would never promote and say I love something if I really don't love it. So I know what it takes I know part of what it takes to create a product. Having created my eyeshadow palette with Dalton, they did all the hard legwork for me. I just, told them what I wanted, sent swatches, said yes, no, I like that, I don't like that. They were the ones talking with the manufacturers. So to have to do the whole thing, I applaud these ladies doing their, diligence and all the research it takes. And I know the Buzzy Beauty brushes, I actually feel like the pricing is right in line with the BK Beauty brushes. I don't know if she's got any sales coming. I do know that BK Beauty is going to be having some big sales coming up in May. So stay tuned for that. But with brushes and smaller brands, BK Beauty, I know it has been exploding with growth, but they were also a small start brand as well. And unless you're creating products like manufacturing hundreds of thousands of products at once, you don't get the Walmart discount, So these labs charge you a lot of money. So look at how, truly effortless. And I think that is what her, the Everyday Brow Pencil for fast, effortless precision. And that is it, easy every day. And I think that is very easy and very everyday. So I'm really enjoying this. Now, the other thing, I have another brow product that I've been testing out that before I got these from Ravi, I was planning to share with you first, but I have just enjoyed this so much, and I'm actually waiting on another shade, but it is the new brow pen from L'Oreal. This is the two-pronged one. So if this looks crazy to you, just stay tuned. I'll be showing that soon, but I just thought for today, let's do that. I'm going to add a little clear brow gel from Bare Minerals. This is the Strength and Length. My brows, I have to say my brow hairs have really been, the thickest that they have been in a long time. I did pick up a new Ordinary Brow Gel, Lash and Brow Growth Gel during the Sephora sale. I don't have that here to show you, but that was also in my cart, and I feel like that is one of the best ones. I have not tried that on my lashes. Some of you have asked about that. I've only used it on my brows, and it has worked great. But I do feel like doubling up with this during the day, maybe that has also helped as well. All right, let's do some mascara. I gotta say, I'm not loving how my skin is looking. And I will try that foundation with another sunscreen before I give it the take back, before I give it a full official dud stamp. But it's funny when there's a lot of hype surrounding something new. Generally, for whatever reason, it doesn't end up being a win for me. So we'll see. I'm not going to open this new a mascara primer because I've already got 3 open. I don't want another one open, but this is the new Tartelette Tubing Lash Primer. I will be testing this out. This is going to take some extra testing other than just showing you today, but I'm really fascinated by that. But I did pick up the Tarte Opening Act. This was their first primer. I picked this up before the sale, just happened to have that open. But this is a new mascara from Revlon, Color Stay Full-Time Mascara. And I've only used it, I think, 3 days. This might be the 4th day. What I'm most impressed about is it says it's 0 flaking, 0 smudging. And I have to say, it's been 0 flaking or smudging. It's not quite as thick and voluminous and lengthening, you know, as my superhero from IT Cosmetics, but we'll see. That's the reason why I do still feel like it needs a primer for the upper lashes. I won't use a primer on the lower lashes, but so far I have really been impressed with this mascara. It's been a long time since I've had a Revlon mascara kind of be in my rotation. But, you know, for these kind of everyday looks that, I mean, I've got glitter on my eyelids. Yes, this is everyday. But I kind of reaching that point where, okay, I don't need, you know, super thick, voluminous looking lashes all the time. Oh, let's just get our primer everywhere. So I feel like if I can find a mascara though that doesn't flake, doesn't get in my eyes throughout the day, that is something that I will reach for, even if it's not the most voluminous look. But this is a very different brush. It has short bristles, it's curved, but it's not prickly. So I really appreciate that. I do think it's a plastic bristles. Whew, that was a tough one apparently for me to get out. But it says it's lightweight, so it's supposed to be good, I think, to help hold curl. And I do feel like this dries pretty quickly. So I'll go through and then I'll go to my other eye. And by the time I get back, oh no, I did this the other day. Normally I let it completely dry, but it was a challenge to get off my skin. So, oh well, we'll just live through this together here, right? So I do feel like though this mascara does dry pretty quickly. So that's a good thing if you have hooded eyes and you struggle, you know, keeping mascara off of your hood that is dropping down. This might be a good mascara to try because it's going to dry quick, so you don't have to, you know, look like this for too long. So, but I see it's already feeling kind of dry, which is good because I think it does help it layer up, but it's not looking clumpy. So it definitely stays, I think the lashes stay separated. And I did also pick this up in their brown black shade. But again, I don't want to have another mascara open at the moment. So I'm just going to do black on top and bottom. Now my lips, I'm just kind of feeling my lips as I'm doing this mascara. And they do feel very nice and hydrated. I still have product on there. And there is still some shine and a balmy feel on the lips. So this is lasting a lot longer than I recall their first one. I think I tried their lip oil when it first came out. Maybe it was a slightly different product. I know they've kind of revised a few of their formulations over the years, but this one does feel really nice. It's not a whole lot of color. So it's not going to be something that is, you know, really going to be like, oh, you're wearing baby pink lips. But it does feel nice on the lips. I struggle. I'm just in general, I personally would rather have more of a slightly sticky gloss or a lipstick. That's just me. I'm a lipstick girl with a little gloss on top. I just always have been. I can still remember one of my first high-end lipsticks I ever owned was from Mary Kay. It was in the pink packaging and I carried that in my purse in high school, and that was like one of my favorite lip products other than my Wet n Wild 99-cent gloss. All right. Oh, I put that away. We got to do the lower lashes. Let's see if I can keep this off the skin down here. Yeah, I am not loving my under eyes either. I feel like the under eyes are looking a little creasy and textury, which again, I will try that concealer one more time with my normal setting powders. So that's the trick, you know, when we're trying new setting powder, new concealer, new foundation, new powder, knowing what is the culprit here. But yeah, I am just not a fan of how my skin is looking up close and personal. So that's okay. You can live through these trials with me. That is the goal. That is why, one of the reasons why I do this is because I know many of you don't want to or can't return makeup. So if I can, as much as possible, deter you from having to, you know, live with a product you really don't love, that's my goal. All right, let's see if that is at all dry so we can scrape this off. It's going to be a little hard and distracting to get. We keep this here. I am going to go around the edge of my lips. Oh, that's going to take a little work. Okay, let's go around the edge of the lips with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I've realized many of you are new to my channel and I just run right by this. This MAC Paint Pot in the shade Soft Ochre, it does come in several skin tone shades. If you have more pink tones, Painterly is good. The reason this is an eyeshadow product, an eye primer product, so don't be confused by that. But the formulation of this product helps prevent lipstick and lip liners and lip gloss from bleeding. And it also, because it's a skin tone color, it helps perfect my uneven lip lines. So that is why I use that product. Okay, while that sits, let's just see. Do you see this mascara? It's not waterproof, but wow, it really does adhere to the skin. So this might be one, if you get it on your skin, oh, okay, I think we saved that. Oh man, my under eyes are not looking good. All right, I don't feel like they looked this bad the other time I used that concealer because I used a different powder. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that powder, not for me. I think that powder is just not great. Yeah, don't love that at all. Okay, let's just add on, let's go and let's add a little more bronzer, shall we? Let's go back here and I'm gonna just kind of smooth a little bit of this under the eye. And we'll just hope that this kind of covers over what's going on. And then on my skin right here where I'm just struggling, even though I did already spray a setting spray, I'm going to go in with a little powder, a little of the Beauty Counter powder. I found this in my stash. I had forgotten this was one that I had loved. I don't even know if they make this powder anymore. It was sold for a while at Ulta, so I don't know. Let's just add a little powder and hopefully that will help. Oh my goodness. All right. For lips today, surprisingly, I did purchase one lip product, but again, I actually got this at Ulta with some of my points. It's a Charlotte Tilbury color in 90s pink. My friend Erin could not believe that I didn't own 90s pink because I had most of the other pink lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury, and she's like, what? You don't own that? I said, I know, crazy, right? And as far as lip liners go, what did I just grab? Let's see, I grabbed Icon Baby. Let's just use this. This is, oh, of course, it needs to be sharpened. This is, well, maybe not the right choice for this. All right, let's see if we can eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What else did we pull out? We pulled out Revlon. Hey, this is a good one in mink. And let's see if that's pink enough. That might work. Let's do that, right? Why not? Let's use this. And yeah, that's a little better color match. Is this mink? Is that what it says? Mink. All right. And I do love these lip liners. They are really great. All right. Now, this lipstick, I have a feeling it might be a little much, but we'll try it for now. That's pretty. It is it's a medium, slightly bright. I don't know, it's pretty, right? 90s pink. Normally, I like to go with more of a nude pink color, but for some reason, I think that's working for me today. All right, let me go do my hair. We'll finish up with the final look. All right, the hair is done, and before I give you the finished makeup look and tell you my thoughts on the products, I'm gonna add one slight little finishing touch. I'm gonna go in with the Merit Beauty Flush Balm, and this is in the shade Cheeky. I had asked you on the YouTube community tab this morning if anybody would like to see me try out. There were 3 Merit products that had been sent to me, and I had not received a comment until just right before I popped on here to do this finished look. So I wanted to pop this on, and I'm glad for that because this is a product that you might think you can only use underneath powder, but we've obviously fully powdered the face. And so I wanted to just pop this on. And this is one of my favorite products from Merit. This and their lipsticks are 2 of my favorite products. This is a very lightweight, buildable cream blush, and it's very soft. And so I feel like this is a really forgiving product. And I don't know that I've ever tried it on top of powder. Maybe I have, but I really love how that looks. And I think that just gave a little extra flush to the cheeks. So I'm not one that actually swipes it on. I would not recommend doing that, but it is one that if you take your brush to it and then apply, I think it applies great, and it's very buildable. Okay, let me remove my mirror that I had in front of me out of the way, and now here's the finished makeup look. So I feel like from here, the skin looks okay, and the under eyes look okay, but up close, this, I think, just sealed it for me. I just don't think that the Lawless foundation is as forgiving and blurring as it's advertised to be and as I was hoping it would be. You'll have to let me know if you've tried that foundation and think differently, but that is on the chopping block, as well as, sadly, the Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer. I will try this one more time with my normal setting powder, but as of today, I just don't think that that product is for me. Some really huge wins: the Revee Beauty Eyebrow Pencil, the YSL Blush, even the Charlotte Tilbury Eyeshadow Palette. I am really enjoying the Dior Bronzer. I think this might be going back, just due to how expensive it is, how little product, and I just don't feel like it has that much of an impact for me personally. This I'll probably continue to use, but I don't think that this is a fix-all blurring type of setting spray as I was hoping it to be, and as I've heard some people refer it to be. I think all of the other cheek products, the Tower Beauty blush, the Rare Beauty cream blush, I think all of those things are staying in my collection. And I think even the glow screen, even though it's quite glowy, as I said, I think this is going to be a great one for the morning walks when I'm walking my Gracie, or just to mix in maybe with one of my other sunscreens when I need a little added color. And the skincare, the long-term benefits of this is yet to be seen, as well as, is it really necessary? Do we really need it? Do I really need it? Let me put it that way. I'll let you know on that. The final item that I did pick up also that was a repurchase is the Dr. Dennis. This is the Alpha Beta, what is the AHA, BHA Daily Cleansing Gel. I used this all summer and loved it. One of these lasted me, I think, about 4 months or longer. I just used it in the morning. It helps refine the skin and it takes off sunscreen. So that's why I love it in the shower. You don't have to apply it to dry skin. So this was definitely worth the slightly higher price tag, but I did replenish that. So I wanted to share that, as well as I replenished a new Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer in P4. I've never had that shade exactly, but this is one of my top favorite concealers. I'm working on a top 5 concealer video, so I needed to have a fresh one so I could compare. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was long, but I just so appreciate you being here, coming along for these makeup try-ons. And as always, in the description box down below, I will have my personal links, and I think YouTube will link as many products as they can find as well. So you got a couple of options, and stay tuned for the upcoming hair tutorial, because I'm going to give you my thoughts on if I'm going to change anything with my color or cut, or if I've actually really loved it. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.